What up, Pistol?
What's up with it?
Tell everybody where you grew up.
I grew up in Akron, Ohio. I was born in 1976, and in '87, when I was 11, my mom found out the climate was better for children with asthma, and to move to California. So we had family out there. So she decided, pack up everything, and we moved out there.
What a time to move to LA specifically. I mean, we're right in the middle of the crack era. We're right in the middle of gangbanging at its height. Anybody who grew up in the 80s and 90s, whether you were gangbanging or not, if you were just a civilian and you were able to survive that time, you're a warrior. Different LA than what we know now.
Oh man, it was real bad. Like you said, with crack, when crack being on the streets made it even worse. It was already bad with the gangs, and the crack just made it a whole lot worse. Because, I mean, it was survival. You had to survive, I mean, walking to school in the morning and walking home from school was sometimes a task. You run into so-called enemies, and they get at you or you get at them.
Yeah.
And it was real bad. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of people get shot. I've seen a lot of LAPD do a lot of ill things that I didn't think was real until I seen it with my own eyes. They were vicious. Damn. They were vicious toward gang members.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, that crash.
The crash unit was. Yeah, they were sick in the head, man. Seriously, I was 13 and 14 when the police put their hands on me, and didn't arrest me. They whooped my ass, took my gun, didn't arrest me.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had a couple of situations where they whooped on us and they dropped us off in different neighborhoods where they knew we probably wouldn't make it back from.
Yep. The famous scene in Menace to Society that really happened.
Oh yeah. And it didn't happen just once in a while. It happened a lot. I wasn't the only one. We wasn't the only ones it happened to. I was cool with a lot of gang members, even from other sets, and I would hear the same shit from them. Gray Streets and Main Streets, East Coast. Just stories of how they would, whoop on you and drop you off in enemy territory, and you had to, make it out of there alive. I was fortunate. A couple of times it happened to me. I was fortunate.
That's terrible.
I had people in the area I knew. And it's funny, I was at a family reunion and I met a guy at a family reunion, and come to find out, he was a Piru. So when they beat his ass and dropped us off in Compton, he just happened to be driving down the street that day and seen me.
Whoa.
Grabbed me and my homie up, put us in the car, and got us up out of there.
Something else I heard that they used to do also was they would, go to, let's say, a blood set, holler out a Crip hood, start shooting, and do vice versa, just to kind of get wars going on. I heard a couple of OGs explain that to me in the past. Yes,
they did. Yeah, they did that. They would go through with spray paint, cross out gangs, and put other gang names. Yeah, oh yeah.
And they do it because that's job security for them. I mean, as long as you guys are fighting, they have a job. And there's money in black crime and criminality and things like that.
Right. Oh yeah. And they were just very racist, viciously racist.
Yeah, and there were stories. Yeah. I've heard stories also of government agencies dropping off crates of automatic weapons in the hood back in the 80s. Leaving trains open with just a bunch of guns. So people can grab them and do the thing in the street.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was out there when that shit was happening. So, yeah, you are absolutely right. That's exactly what happened. Doggone train just sitting still. And so they went, investigate, see what's going on, see what's in it. And, yeah, it's full of guns and ammo. And, yeah. There were cops that would tell gang members, like, look, if y'all hit the surplus, for the guns, we'll make sure ain't no cops around.
Wow.
And and they would actually hit them spots and get the guns, and they were right. Nobody stopped them. Nobody stopped them. Police never came. It was all get them weapons on the streets so we can keep our war going. That basically what they wanted to fuel our war. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to help us kill us.
Man, yeah. What a damn shame, man. So how old were you when you officially joined?
I was 1988. I was 12.
Okay, 12. So take me back to that day. What was going through your mind? What actually happened? Did you get jumped in? What happened that day?
Okay. The early part of that day, walking to school, I hear a whistle. First I hear, oh, hell no. I heard, I can't whistle, but I heard, and I just start seeing people coming from everywhere. I was thinking like, damn, my age, older. And they said, where you from? I said, I'm from Akron, Ohio. They said, where? I said, Akron, Ohio. They said, where the fuck is that at? I said, it's by Cleveland, Ohio. They said, oh, hell no, man. Hey, y'all, he ain't even from here, period. He ain't from California. He said, man, come here. He said, man, he talked to me about, what you don't wear around there and why. And, later on, after talking to him and telling him about, my problems I was having and how, my cuz from Gray Street, he got locked up. So, my help was gone. He locked up now. So basically they said, all right, you a fighter about yours. You ain't no punk about it. So, okay, we will help you. And they wasn't bullshitting. They helped me. They helped me. And then later on that night, we kicking it, drinking, smoking, and he said, you ready for what we talked about earlier? I said, yeah. Next thing I know, somebody hit me from my left. And then somebody else hit me. And I just started swinging. I know I hit somebody, and as soon as I hit that person, I got hit again. And I got hit so hard, I got knocked into the person who had hit me on my left. And make a long story short, it went on for a while, and afterwards, I got lightweight pissed, in the heat of it, and they calming me down like, no, you one of us now, you family now, So from that day forward, I was Front Street Watch.
And when would you say you were most active?
Most active, 89, 90, and 91, as far as California. And when I came back to Ohio in 91, I was still active. I wasn't as wild because it's not as wild out here in Akron. So, yeah, my wildest years was 89, 90, and 91, especially 90 and 91.
Yeah. That was when it was, I think 92 in LA was when we had the most homicides, gang-related homicides as well, in the history of LA. I think we were up to like 2,500 homicides that year. And to give everybody out there a comparison, 2,500 back in 92, I think last year we had like 380 or something like that. So that's a huge jump, dog. It was really going down in those years.
Yes, it was. That's a humongous big difference. And yeah, you're right. The late 80s and early 90s, when you banged, if you survived to talk about it like I am now, and the other people you've interviewed, because I've seen your show, yeah, we all survived some shit. For real, man. It was hard.
Yeah.
Even
as a civilian, you mentioned something earlier that I want to bring up, but even as a civilian like I was all my life, we couldn't wear certain clothes because it was affiliated with gangs. If I wanted to wear some British Nikes, I better not buy those motherfuckers because even though I'm a civilian, I'm going to get my ass whooped. You remember the BKs?
Yeah.
Schools banning Raider jackets.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. You wore some British Nikes back there. Yeah, you better be ready to kill or die, one or the other. For real. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
It'll
remember
get
my mom,
real quick.
yeah, my mom heard about that on the news, and she would not buy me British Knights. She's like, no, and I was kind of a a square or whatever, so I didn't really get it. I was like, no, I want British Knights. She's like, no, motherfucker, they're killing people over these shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, because if they see you and they see you in them, you may be a civilian or you might be the enemy. So in their mind, we're not gonna take a chance. We'll just get rid of you. You know, that was the mind state.
Yep.
You know, hit you up, and that's and I say hit you up. Everybody always didn't hit you up. Some of them just they shoot the shit out of you, and then worry about it later. Like, oh shit, he went in the game and rolled. Well, he should have been wearing them damn shoes. That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man, it was different time, homie. Different time. Starter jackets, none of that you could wear. It was a crazy, situation.
Woo. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen so many people get them, took it right up off of them. Yeah, we'll take that. Yeah, oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Have them walking home cold without that coat on.
Yep, in November, just like, damn, I shouldn't have wore that jacket.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, my mom had bought me a black and red Pendleton. It collected dust in the closet. I'm trying to tell you. No.
Ain't happening, Mom. Yeah, I know Grandma would buy us stuff because they don't know what's up. So they would buy us shit at Christmas, and we take it out of the wrapper, and we're like, well, can't wear this. Let me set that aside. Can't wear that. It's this color. You're like, man. To this day, dog, I literally wear black and gray. That's the only color I wear is black and gray. It's just it's embedded in me now. 25 years later.
Hey, that's how serious it is. That's why I be trying to tell them out here. Like they can wear whatever out here, and they don't have nowhere near as many problems as we had out there. Yeah, you're right, man.
You can't be a
gray and black. That was you playing it smart.
Yep,
playing it wise.
NWA taught me that,
man. Man, yeah, you'll learn the hard way.
And the crazy thing is, you could legit be a sports fan. You know, I have cousins who come from Indiana and things like that, or, from other parts of the country. And I'm like, you can't wear that hat. Just leave. I tell them just leave all sports hats at home. Because no matter what sport, you can't wear a Houston Astros hat. You can't wear a Florida Marlins hat. You can't wear a Atlanta Braves hat. You can't even wear a damn LA Dodgers hat, man. Because, it's like, to this day, it's like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah, your cap meant where you was from. You know, that was a way of you letting everybody know where you from. So a civilian trying to wear that, they don't know you're not from there. They got to take it like you are. You know? Yeah. And some of them knew you wasn't from there. They just fuck with your spirit just because they like, you ain't supposed to be having that over here. We don't get up with that, so you're not gonna wear it. Period.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, you're right.
Nowadays, gangsters kind of blend in. They're wearing the fashion, whatever the hottest fashion is, but they're Crippin' and blood. But they're wearing skinny jeans. They're wearing the latest dope ass tennis shoes. But back then, you knew a gangster when you saw a gangster. He had a certain look. He had a certain swag. He had his clothes were a certain way. Speaking of clothes. Let's go back to 88, 89, 91, whatnot. What was the typical attire for an average Crip?
Khakis with the Chuck Taylors, T-shirt, Pendleton. Yeah, we definitely wore a lot of. We wore anything blue, man, and. I'll say this, shoestrings, you get your blue shoestrings. That way you make sure, you're representing. Let me see what else. Always Dickies. Dickies was always the shit.
Yep. Oversized Dickies, 10 size bigger.
Yeah. That was our uniform,
And they had to be creased up, right? They had to be creased up, standing.
Yes.
If you could stand them in the corner, you were a G.
They can stand in the corner by themselves. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yes, indeed. With the heavy starch. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Man,
what a time, dude.
Yes, indeed. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, let's kind of stay in this era. This is the era I was coming up in, but once again, I was a civilian. I was on the outside looking in. And 1988, this movie called Colors comes out. And I wanted to see this movie with everything in me. But once again, my mom's like, nope, ain't happening. She's watching the news stories, hearing about the shit that's going on at the movie theaters and things like that. She's like, no, it ain't happening. I even tried to, like, on the side, ask my stepdad, can you take me real quick? Just we'll say we're going to the beach or something like that. He was like, no. So long story short, I had to wait for it to come out to VHS, before I got to see it. But when I watched it, I was like, oh, shit, this looks like exactly where I live. And it was a trip. Seeing that, I'm like, I never saw anything like that. I'm like, that literally looks like my block, because I was living in Long Beach at that time. But how important do you think movies like Colors were to spreading gangs across the country?
Oh, very much. It made the whole world aware of us, because they had no idea what we were going through out there. And when Colors hit the screen, then they knew, And it's funny you mentioned Colors because living in LA, I never got to see the damn movie because every time we get in there, something would jump off. We had to hurry up and get out of there.
There it is.
So I didn't actually get to see the full movie till 1990. I came to Akron for the summer, a summer vacation.
Peaceful ass.
Yeah, ain't that some shit? I could never. Twice? We tried to see it twice. After that, I stopped trying because both times, hell broke loose.
Damn.
And a couple other times we didn't even get in the damn theater and it jumped off. So yeah, I just gave up on that. I just waited till came out here and I finally got to see the whole movie.
Speaking of Akron, what is the gangbanging scene like out there?
You got a little bit of everybody here. You got Crips here, you got Bloods here, you got Pyrus here, you got some of the Chicago gangs, GDs and Vice Lords here. It's a big mixing pot here, and they got a lot of they mix shit up a little bit here. They got everything confused. When I came out here, I started setting them straight. They were mixing Crips and folks and mixing Vice Lords and Bloods, and I had to let them all know, no, we're all completely different. They had a misconception out here.
And yes,
I've ran into a lot of gang members here though that are from LA, and they got family out here, so most of them like me, they wanted to get them away from the gang, so they move them out here. And then out here, we don't stop, like we said, don't stop till the cash is dropped. So the only difference is out here, it was nowhere near as bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you were there in 91, pretty much schooling people on what it was like coming from the land and the real, because there was, back in the day,
right.
From what I understand, is it the folks aligned with the Crips? I hope I'm not messing that up. Say
that again.
Was it the folks that were aligning with the Crips? And you said or explain that again.
Right. They were mixing it. They were mixing folk with Crip and mixing Vice Lords with Bloods. And I had to let them know, okay, that's fine what y'all doing here, but you go to LA with that, y'all gonna have some problems. Cause that's not, no, keep that separate. If y'all want to be cool with each other, that's cool. I ain't got nothing wrong with that, but don't mix that shit up. They were, it was wild. And it wasn't until years later, other people from LA came out here and they heard the same thing from them. Then they're like, oh, you was right. Yeah, I was right. I was trying to tell y'all from 1991 when I first came out here. So yeah, it's very different here. And yeah, and like I said, I've ran into quite a few real Crips here, real Bloods here, real Pyrus.
And who are some of the gangs that we would recognize out here in LA that are in Akron?
That's in Akron.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of Long Beach 20s Crips, Rolling 60 Crips. You got some Hoovers here. there's a couple of cats here from East Coast. Met a guy from Kitchen Crip. Let me see. Who else? Playboy Gangster. There's a few of them here. Real ones from out west. West Side Mafia Crip. That's Pomona. There's a guy here from there. My cousin, Trey 57. That's Pomona, same town. Let me see who else. I think I named everybody.
Okay. What about the Mexican gang?
Yeah, and then none of that out here. Definitely none. Okay. It's some Bloods out here and some Pyrus out here.
Oh, okay.
There was some Treetop Pyrus that was here. I'm not sure if they're still here or not. I met a dude from the Eastside of Compton. He was a Pyru. I can't remember what city he was from. Let me see. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty much popping out there from what it sounds like.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it's a few real ones here, and then there's some wannabes here too. And a lot of those wannabes are the ones that, like I said, they was trying to mix it. And I'm like, nah, you can't do that. You go back out in L.A. talking that, and you will get hurt. Yeah.
Let me ask you, what do you think the number one reason is that kids join gangs?
The number one reason, I'll say it like this. The reason I would think the number one reason is because living out there, and like I said, you keep having them coming through your neighborhood shooting, you want to be a part of the people who go do something about that. And gang members are looked up to because they're the stand-up guys. Those are the guys that ain't going to sit down. They standing up for the neighborhood. They standing up for their turf. They standing up for their set. And that's admired. And me, especially coming from my family background, my dad was a fighter. My uncles were fighters. All his brothers. So they reminded me of my dad and my uncles. Some of the stories I heard about them, that's what these cats was doing. Because they wasn't always shooting. I seen some good fights where, right, went with the hands, even late 80s.
Yeah.
And that the number one reason is because you want to belong to somebody that's standing up for themselves. Because that's rare.
Okay.
Especially back then, that was very rare. And so, like I said, they were looked up to. So that's what, some children wanted to be like Michael Jordan. Some wanted to be like Magic Johnson. I wanted to be like Big T-Bone. That's who I wanted to be like. I heard stories about him and some of the other big homies. I wanted to be like them. I didn't want to be like Michael Jordan. I didn't want to be like Magic Johnson. I wanted to be like them because that was TV. These was real life in my face, reality. So yeah, there's a big difference. I think to this day, that's why the reason. Probably to this day, you look up to that power, to that stand up guys. They don't take no shit.
Who were some of your OGs who you looked up to back then?
Like I just mentioned, Big T-Bone. Oh man, Sleepy, Pookie. There was so many of us. Burdock. Oh man, Snoop. Oh man, there was so many. And you gotta excuse me. I'm getting old.
Oh,
So
I'm
my
right there
memory
with you, my dude.
messed up.
Born in 78, homie. I heard you say 76 earlier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Oh, you said you was born in 78?
yeah, so I'm right there with you, man. If you could put a number on it, how many friends and family would you say you've lost to the gang life, whether it be by death, by jail, prison, or whatever, by drugs? If you could put a number on it.
How many that I knew?
That you've lost, yeah, personally.
Oh, man. Whew. Man, the pen to prison, I got to say, I don't have enough fingers. And death, once again, I don't have enough fingers. And that's not just Front Street. Other gang members from other sets that I was cool with, that I shot hoops with, or they came and watched my fight, Yeah. Too many. I've been to funerals where the funeral got disrespected by the rivals,
Like shot up.
That's why shot up. I've been to funerals where I guess what they would probably call suicide mission come in and all that. It was bad. It was fucked up, man. It wasn't good at all.
Damn.
Yeah.
How did you survive?
The only thing I can say is it just wasn't my time, because it's been plenty of times I've been shot at, and I've never, got hit with a bullet where I had to go to the hospital or anything. I've been jumped multiple times. It just wasn't my time. It seriously wasn't my time. I mean, even out there and out here, because, I almost died out here too. When I was 18 in 94, I got jumped real bad by some guys over on the Eastside, which is where most of the Bloods in Akron are at. And, I got jumped really bad. Like, I had my head stomped to the point where they had to take pieces of my skull off my brain, stop the internal bleeding, and stitch and staple my head back together. I was supposed to have multiple seizures. I didn't have none. And when I told the doctor that during one of my visits, he looked at me like I was crazy and looked at my mom like she was crazy. And she shook her head like, yeah, he has none. He called me a walking miracle.
Jesus Christ. Man.
He was from India somewhere. I shook that man's hand and hugged him about 4 or 5 times.
Wow, saved your life, huh?
Oh yeah,
man.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy to leave from LA, from all that, and survive all that, and then come here and almost die.
And it happened like that in Akron. Damn.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a soldier going to war in Afghanistan, and then coming back home and surviving that, but then coming back home and somebody shoots him in a liquor store robbery.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a wake up call for me. That's when I slowly started trying to change my thinking, and by '96, I really started changing my thinking.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a hypothetical question for my last question for you. If you could talk to an 11-year-old you who is right there, putting his tippy toe in the gang life and about to jump fully in, hypothetically, what would you tell him?
That's funny you asked that, because I do a lot of mentoring to young gang members, and I don't care if they're Crips or Bloods or Pyrus. I would tell them, like I told them Bloods over there on the north side about I want to say about 15 years ago. I know what y'all doing, but this ain't what's up, because ain't no future in this. The future of this is either death or a jail cell. And you're going to have a lot of friends. You're going to lose a lot of friends. And it's going to make you more bitter. And it just ain't worth it. Stay your butt in school, and stay away from this. And if you just going to just jump into it, you don't want to listen to me and all that, all right, then at least do this. be careful and don't start nothing with nobody. If they started, then I understand. You got to defend yourself. Other than that, nah. Don't indulge in this, because there's nothing but bad involved in this. And I mean, don't get me completely wrong. I will tell them, like, you know, it is love in this, because I'm 44 and I'm still Front Street Wise. You know what I'm saying? For the love and the loyalty. Yeah, you can have love and loyalty without killing somebody who look like you, because he ain't from your set. He ain't gotta be from your set. As long as he ain't did nothing wrong to you personally, or nobody you love personally, then leave it alone. And even if somebody, you lost somebody because of that, getting them back ankle, bring them back, and it's about to cause you more problems, and you might not be here. That would be my message. That's the same message I had to them young bloods over there on the north side, and some young Crips over on the west side. Same message. And I damn near said it almost identical in both situations.
Yeah. Well, Pystol, I appreciate you sharing your story, and also appreciate the work that you do with these young kids, because Lord knows they need it. They're so misguided, and it's very important that people like you are out there. So I wish you the best of luck in that. Is there anything that you want to promote, you know, give a shout out to? The floor is yours, my man.
Okay, I appreciate that. All I want to say is to any young person that's listening to this, if you hearing this, take heed to what I'm saying. I live this. And I've been around a lot of people who live this, and all of our stories ain't happy. You know, we had our good times. Yeah, we had a lot of hard times too. And I'm only here because I'm supposed to be here, probably to do what I'm doing right now.
Thank you for tuning in to Dusty Vision TV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. When did you realize this ain't it? When did you go from Tiny Buntry back to Gregory?
Ooh, I love that question. Ooh, I've been in jail for 21 years. I got locked up 2004 August. And this year, August, would be 21 years. Absolutely. So, and I didn't start realizing certain things until I would say 2000, I would say 18. But like I said, my growth is still growing, and I'm still in the process of changing. And I am better than I was yesterday. I didn't realize that until 2018. Why? Because I involved myself in these self-help programs. It didn't happen overnight. Like God works, He works in stages. So He's building me in stages. You know, it started with me going to these self-help programs, learning different things to understand myself. Now, I'm not sitting here on this podcast saying these things that you can just jump right through a hoop and then it's going to be, and everything's going to be peachy keen. It took me a process of tearing down the walls, of trying to click on a light and try to find where Gregory's at. Then I had to get reacquainted with him, because so many decades of me not seeing him anymore, of knowing who he is, I forgot who I was. I forgot my thoughts, my dreams, my aspirations, because Tiny Buntry took over, and all I knew was this: okay, I'm gonna earn this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna obtain this. But guess what? In classes, I started going to the self-help programs, the e-learning, to learn how the sperm, how hard it's a struggle for the sperms to get to the ovum. You know, if a person understands how life and the stages of life to become a fetus, you'll start appreciating life more. So once I started going to these classes of Cage of Rage, which helped me with my anger, which this is still everyday process, but I am way better than I was yesterday. I had to go through these Cage of Rage programs, these Life Without a Crush programs, these prep organization programs. And then eventually as I'm still going to these different groups, and then I'm learning, I'm like, damn, I see such and such from this gang that I used to be with. I see such and such from that gang I used to be with. And I'm like, these dudes is real just like me. If they can come up in here and speak freely without really worried about the ego, because that's all we worried about. A lot of us won't help. A lot of us want to change our life, but a lot of us can't get past the ego because we worried about what another person think about us. So that's why I always go back to know thyself, learn self. Because once you understand self, you ain't gonna be worried about what such think about you. You ain't gonna be worried about what she think about you or what he think about you, because you gotta do for self because you love yourself. So after all these classes and these things, I couldn't help. Dusty, I lied to you not, Dusty. And the Bible said Jesus said he made the blind man see and the deaf man hear. Now I can see visually, but I understand what that means. Yeah, we can see, but we really didn't see. But now, once you see, you cannot not see no more. So now that I see the destruction, the pain, the agony that I caused in the community, I could never go back to that again. I could never go back to a destructive lifestyle again. This is why I tell each and every brother and sister out there to first get acquainted with yourself. Know yourself. Understand the meaning of love. And just those two right there is going to get you to where you need to be. Stay focused to remain focused and never deviate. And know that I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. We're perfect imperfection. And know that you might fall tomorrow, but you get back up and you push further again.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You might fall again, but you get back up and you fall. Don't worry about what everybody else talking about. Worry about yourself. Get acquainted with yourself. Re-educate yourself. So I say educate yourself. 2018, that was my beginning of learning myself. And I'll tell you this, once you start being on the path of learning yourself, the God is going to put everybody to align to your purpose, your aim and your purpose. Because I met certain people that came into my life. I met people like Latanya Ward. She came out to life and she taught me how to love myself. I have my mother, my grandma, the one that I'm with now. And I couldn't love her properly if I didn't know how to love myself. So I tell each and every brother, if you want to get acquainted with yourself, you want to know who you really are, re-educate yourself. Get knowledge of self and learning the meaning of love.
So talk to me about the first day walking into prison as an active gang member. What's your first day like?
You mean the jail or prison? Because jail was bad.
Okay, talk to me about jail first. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of LA, because I know a lot about LA County jail. I got so many homies from LA. Mm-hmm. It's not like that, but it's close. Like you better be in the right. If you get put in the wrong cell or something like that, you're gonna get the hell beat out of you. You might it's bad. So when you go up in there, you got to know, what I'm saying, where to go. You know what I'm saying? So where's my homies at? What's up? And everybody's hollering. Because if you don't, plenty of dudes get put in the wrong cell, man. They get stabbed up and pushed up under their bunk or something. Mm. You take the food, whatever, just beat you up until they get you up out of there.
Are there a lot of Mexican gangs out there?
Oh, yeah. When I was there, you still had the Southside Loco, GBC, Walitos. And there's some other new ones, you know what I'm saying, that they got now. But yeah, when I was there, they had Southside Locos, which they still got, GBC, Grand Barrio Central. And some more now, though. Mm. They got a lot more.
In jail, is it on site with another Crip? Or, going back to your day? Or are you guys banding together as in for numbers?
Yeah, it's in jail, you're not really around them like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you can get to them, yeah, it's on site. It's on site. We'll even plan like, yeah, man, let's go out here when they let us out, man. We go to the infirmary, whatever. We gonna do this and do that. So yeah, it was on site in jail. But like I said, you wasn't around them like that because they kept you kind of separate.
Okay.
In jail, yeah.
And you said jail was crazy. What's the craziest thing that you experienced in jail?
Man, not too much, man. Like you always hear somebody get put, like some Crip he goes into a cell, either not knowing, that this cell is full of bloods, or a blood go into a Crip cell, and then they just getting the hell beat out of them. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much all you gonna see, because you can't, the way that it was set up, you can't see now. You behind steel doors. That's the old county, city, Oklahoma County. So you're not really seeing too much of nothing. You just hearing.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's even worse.
You can't really. Yeah, it's not open like that. It was, it might be now. I don't know.
Yeah,
not back then.
And a lot of the officers, I'm sure, knew that, hey, this dude's a Crip. Let's throw him in the blood cell.
Yeah,
or vice versa.
Definitely. Yeah, because when they check, they're looking at tattoos. You know what I'm saying? And they ask you, like, who you with? You know what I'm saying? Because it was really bad, and they was like, man, I'm with this. You know what I'm saying? Put me with my homies or whatever, and that's what they'll do.
Yeah. If you don't mind talking about it, can you talk to us about the whole robbery and what happened that day?
Oh yeah, man, yeah. That was a long time ago. I'm good. I did time for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, man, I was at the point, like, we was doing so much crazy stuff though, man. Like I probably could have had life sentence, man, if I would have got caught for half the stuff I did. But it was a particular day, man. It was like 5 of us, because we was just robbing to eat. Like I was staying at one of my homeboys' house with some girls, all my homies and stuff. And we was robbing like every dang day, man, just trying to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Just robbing people on the street, on the car,
robbing people on the street, store, everywhere, like carjack, everything.
Okay.
And so at this particular day, we was just walking in the neighborhood or whatever, like 5 of us. And we was like, and we saw these 2 white dudes. It was like, they was standing in their yard, old dudes, and we was like, all right, yeah, let's get them. They look like they got some money or whatever. And so one of my homeboys, we all ran up there, but I didn't pull a gun out. But I took, ain't no thing, because I was there, and, ain't no big deal. But we was like, well, yeah, what time is it? We was like, what time is it, man? We was asking the people. They was like, they already knew what was up. And so we, it's like, all right, and I'm laughing the whole time. I had a bandana on my face. They couldn't see my face or whatever, but long story short, they said it was me or whatever, but that's irrelevant. But we just robbed them. And so at gunpoint, we took they had $800 or some dollars in their pocket and credit cards and all that. And that's how it, but I didn't get caught then or nothing. It was like a week or 2 later or something. Damn. And it came to the apartment.
How did you get caught?
Man, like I said, one of them girls, somebody probably told, I don't know what was going on with that. I don't know, but the police just came to me because it was a Saturday, and I was watching the NCAA finals. I'll never forget it. I even remember that March 22nd on a Saturday. But the police knocked on the door. They was like, they said my name is Clifton here. I'm like, and I didn't think nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? It was a while ago. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, what's up? And they was like, yeah, you coming with us. We got you under arrest for something. I'm like, and they can't do nothing to me. I'm like 6'10". I'm like, I ain't even do nothing. So I'm like, I don't care. And they put me in a police car or whatever. And that was, I didn't see the streets no more.
Damn.
For a minute.
Mm. So did someone point you out, or as far as the witnesses, or?
Man, I still don't know, man. You don't have people, man. Girls was involved. Ain't no. I don't know, man, what happened. But they say that they in a lineup. You know what I'm saying? They said that I was the one. One of the dudes said it was me. There was 2 dudes standing in their yard, and one of them said it wasn't, even in court. Mm. But public defender, they made me they said they offered me 2 life sentences. They said, if you don't take this 10 years in and 5 out probation, they said we give you 2 life sentences. And I'm 16, so they do that. They do that to people though, man. Especially minorities, they come with that. We can give you this, give you that. And so when they did that, I was like, I'll take the 10.
Damn. I'm sure there were a lot of good times, being a part of a group, being part of a gang, but there were probably an equal amount, if not more, bad times. Is it, looking at this video now, are there people, and you don't have to name names or anything like that, but are there people in this video that aren't around because they lost their life to the streets or drugs or anything like that?
Yeah. The man, I want to say maybe 6 people that was in that video we recently just lost. Recently.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's crazy. because you see them as their younger self and you think they're going to be around, and then also in this gang culture where a lot of violence and death, we become desensitized, and it's sad to say we kind of get desensitized even with the people that we love. And, it's like, okay, we hurt, but it doesn't affect us like probably a normal citizen or whatever. But when you look back at that footage and those people who recently died, it kind of hits you like, damn, man, it's like, it kind of touches you kind of different, But yeah, about like 5 or 6 just recently within a couple of like this past couple of years from that footage passed, I believe.
Yeah. R.I.P. My condolences.
Yes, man.
Would you say that the average gang member, former gangbanger who is really out there, heavy, hard in the streets, suffers from PTSD?
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's no way that you can experience, and I'm not even talking about home. I'm not even talking about what's going on inside the home, just the streets, period. There's no way that you can grow up and experience all that negative energy and destruction, death, whatever you want to call it, man, the drug effects. There's no, and we're talking about people that you grew up with, that you love, they loved you, and you see them fall one after another. There's no way you're not going to be affected, period. Just like a soldier going to Vietnam or Iraq, there's no way. If you're a human being and you're not emotionally deficient, you're going to be affected. We all humans. We're not robots, and we're going to have some type of emotional, psychological damage, and that's why people try to escape with drugs and alcohol. They try to escape all that, but you can't really escape. And I wish, I used to be against therapy, and as far as in the I don't know, typical the Hollywood sense or whatever. But talking about your problems, talking to someone about what you're going through, every human needs that.
I agree, homie. I 100% support therapy. Shit, to this day, I see a therapist, for shit that just you need to talk to people about, right?
And I'm glad you agree, because which leads me to this. I wish, as older homeboys, they and now me, I wish we were like the person that the younger people, the younger generation can go to and talk to. It's like, do you remember that song by Tupac that said, he says, homies in the hood make you feel good?
That lyric sounds familiar.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's so many tears or something like that. But it's like, if you ask any gang members, who in the hood, whether it's your young homeboys or your big homeboys, who in the hood that you can go to with any problems that you having, that you feel comfortable to talking to till the end of time, okay? Yeah, and you ask, like I say, if you ask any younger homeboys, who in their hood that's older, that they feel comfortable, that they can go to and talk to about any problems that they having, and don't feel judged, don't feel that they're going to, spread whatever you talked about, that you feel comfortable. Who in the hood that you, and it's going to be probably like 1% if zero, if any. There's, as homeboys, gang members, if we really love our homeboys, we should really be there and not leave them to their own device, especially if they're making the same mistakes that you make. We should embrace our young homeboys that's going astray and like, look, I've been down this path. This ain't the way to go. This gonna lead to this. This gonna lead to that, and you don't want that later on because you're gonna have a lot of regret. But there's no and I take accountability too. It's like we should be guiding our little homeboys better. That's all I wanted to say about that.
That's deep, man. And I think with your podcast coming up, that should be one of your missions, if not your niche, homie, your podcast niche. Be that 1% of the big homie that these kids can reach out to if they need to. Exactly. Just this conversation we've had past 30 minutes or whatever, it's just like, man, I could see this change in a kid's life, especially if they reach out directly to you and you reach back out to them, or you tell a story on your podcast about something that happened to you. I mean, that's really important, man. That's dope. I'm glad you have that vision. We're going to talk about your podcast in a bit, but I have one more journey in your life that I want to go down before we talk about that, and that is your unfortunate journey through the prison system. Talk to us about your time in prison. First of all, how many years would you say you've given to the system?
In and out. If you want to include juvenile, maybe like 85-90% of my life, man. I want you to call what they call it institutionalized institution. Well, I was institutionalized, but the funny thing about me and how my mind operated, I was more active in jail for whatever reason. I don't know. On the street, I was, I guess, trying to figure myself out because I kept getting pushed out of, my home or whatever. So my mind was all over the place and couldn't really adapt to certain things right there on the spot. But in jail, I was like, I felt like I flourished. It's like, that was my thing. Not that I liked the jail. It was just that I adapted well from, growing up in the institution so long. Yeah.
What are some of the facilities that you've been locked up in?
All right. So we already talked about McLaren Hall. I was in LP, Las Latrinas, Central Juvenile Hall, Fillmore. The funny thing is, for some or whatever reason, they skipped me and sending me to YA, but I went straight to prison. But I also went to, as well as a juvenile, I went to Camp Scott and Camp Miller. So, like I said, I missed YA for whatever reason, and they sent me straight to prison. And as far as prison goes, I started off with reception, Hatchby, Avenal, Folsom Level 4, opened up Calipat State Prison, CRC, Keno West, Keno East. I'm trying to remember at least two more. Mill Creek. Yeah, so I was up and down California.
The Figueroa Hoe Stroll has gone viral. Everyone who lives in LA is familiar with the Figueroa Hoe Stroll, a street where scantily clad women parade up and down the streets looking for their next John. As long as I can remember, Figueroa has been one of the main strolls in Southern California. Hoes come from hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles away just so they can work Figueroa. Although I've never partaken in the merchandise, I'm very familiar with the Figueroa Hoe Stroll. Seeing half-naked women selling their bodies in broad daylight is an everyday occurrence in that area. And not to mention all the other crime that goes on. It's a wonder the feds took this long to come in and clean the place up.
Here in Los Angeles, there is an area notorious for sex workers in and around Figueroa Street. Federal and local law enforcement tells us they decided to go after one especially bad gang that is enslaving women and children in what law enforcement says is the first ever case RICO charge here in Los Angeles for human trafficking.
Fox News exclusively on scene in a pre-dawn takedown of the Hoover Street gang that the federal government says runs a heinous sex trafficking operation, exploiting victims as young as 14 years old with the promise of a lavish lifestyle. In a partnered investigation, including the DOJ, Homeland Security, and LAPD, 11 suspects across LA were targeted in a RICO case. At a downtown motel used to allegedly sell women, federal agents surrounded one of their 11 suspects and took him into custody. Police say during the operation, they also rescued 4 victims, including a minor. Federal investigators say a female, Amaya Armstead, who goes by the street name Lady Duck, was a lead target and prolific human trafficker. Her moniker even tattooed on at least 4 victims' bodies. The criminal complaint describing one instance when Armstead posted a video of herself beating a woman in a convenience store, holding her down by the hair and repeatedly kicking and kneeing her. The woman shouts that she's pregnant, but defendant Armstead continues to beat her.
To all of you people who say, I don't wish jail on no one. Man, fuck that. If they are guilty for making people under 18 work the streets, lock them up and throw away the key. There's not one feeling in my heart for anyone like that. Especially when you're dumb enough to put it all over social media. See, these ding-dongs thought they were getting away with it, committing all types of crimes in broad daylight. Meanwhile, the Fed's been tracking y'all asses for the past 5 years. You're on social media flashing your money? The Feds are taking note. You're on social media hurting someone, making them do something they don't want to do? The Feds are taking note. Driving around in that fancy whip that you bought with illegal money? The Feds are taking note. They let you get comfortable. Meanwhile, they've been keeping tabs on you for the past 5 years. And just like typical niggas, you fell for the trap. That's why they call it the trap. That's why they call it trap money. It's all a trap. A trap to lock yo ass up for the next 100 years. And we keep falling for it. But it's the white man's fault, right? Systematic racism. Shut the fuck up. I've always understood that when it comes to the hoe game, it's by choice, not by force. These women, and some of them under 18, were being forced to live this life. Also, some lowlife piece of trash can post an Instagram pic with a stack of money against their ear. All of the people arrested were on Instagram. I've looked up all of their names, and each Instagram post is just more evidence for the feds. I bet the feds didn't even have to leave the station. They just sit up in their air-conditioned office and scroll up and down Instagram all day. Okay. Lady Duck, gotcha. P4K, gotcha. Yeah, it's really hard to feel sorry for dumb niggas. The only people I feel sorry for in this situation are the people who were forced to do this, especially the ones under a certain age. If you're of age and you want to sell that kitty cat, sell that thing. But no person should be forced to do anything that they don't want to do, especially someone who is not of the right age. So for that, I say lock 'em up. Give them 200 years. Cry me a river. This is typical IGA shit. Motherfuckers will ball out for 5 years just to do 75 years in prison. I'll never understand that. To anyone else out there in the LA area committing crime, they're coming for you. Get out while you can. The 2028 Olympics are right around the corner, and they will be doing everything they can to clean up the streets before that, including locking your black ass up. Within the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see more IGAs locked up than we've ever seen in history. They did it during the 1984 Olympics, and they're going to do it again. Keep playing around, and your ass is going to be locked up in a federal cell next to Bubba. But what do you guys think? What do you think about this whole thing? It started out as an LA story, but I'm seeing it on every major news station across the country now. Fox, CNN, they're all posting about this RICO that hit Figueroa in Los Angeles. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think that these people should be locked under the cell? I do. That's just my personal opinion. And before you go, please hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button.
This morning, 10 out of 11 suspects are in custody, but one is still on the run. 31-year-old Brian Israel is considered a fugitive at this hour. Now, during our embed, we actually watched live as the U.S. government was tracking this guy, but then he went dark and is at large. These suspects are charged with various federal offenses, including human trafficking and gun charges. They face decades behind bars if convicted.
So, someone stole the Easy Street sign in Compton. Really? See, this is some BS, man. A couple of years ago, I had the honor of being a part of the Easy Street unveiling ceremony. My co-host, friend, and mentor, Alonzo Williams, the guy who discovered everyone in NWA, including Eazy-E, allowed me to get a behind-the-scenes glimpse of what the process was like getting the sign for Eazy-E in Compton. So it's a little disheartening to hear that less than 2 years later, someone stole it.
Somebody stole the Easy Street signs, man.
It's ridiculous.
Somebody stole 2 of the Easy Street signs.
2 of them.
I figured if they lasted this long, well, nobody gonna get them. I thought we was gonna get some respect. Psych.
Nope.
They had to climb up on a truck or a hell of a ladder to get them signs, man. Because those signs are like 10 feet up in the air, dude.
Oh, niggas will figure it out.
I reported it to some of my folks at Compton, and they filled out a repair ticket. So, you know, it's gonna take what it takes to get it back up there.
So Alonzo Williams is responsible for getting the Easy Street sign movement going. He started it from step 1. So could you imagine how he feels knowing that some idiots stole the sign? But honestly, I thought it was going to happen a lot sooner than this. I thought that sign was going to be down within 2 weeks. Can't even lie. Then months passed, a year passed, and no one's touched it. I'm like, oh, wow, they have that much respect for Eazy-E, the godfather of gangster rap, that they're not going to take the sign. And I felt great. All right, cool. 1 year pass. 1 year, a few months pass. And dang it, we ain't even make it to the 2 year mark. And someone snatched it. Dang. And I'm not going to blame the residents of Compton, because Eazy-E is a worldwide figure. He's a phenomenon. He is a legend, and it could literally be anybody. So many cities surrounding Compton. It's easy to find the street. No pun intended. So yeah, I thought it was only a matter of time before it happened, unfortunately. But thankfully, of course, they'll get it back, and then it'll probably get stolen again in another year and a half. I heard that the Bone Thugs and Harmony sign was stolen. Anytime a famous rapper gets a street or a street named after them, street sign, yeah, this is what usually happens. But Kenny Rogers Drive? Oh, nobody's touching Kenny Rogers Drive. Garth Brooks Road? Yeah, Garth Brooks Road is still up. But Easy Street didn't last 2 years before someone snatched it down. I wonder if any of you out there were at the Easy Street ceremony. November 2023, I do believe, if my memory serves me correct. It was a great celebration. Black, white, brown, Asian, everybody was in the building representing for Eazy-E, the godfather of gangster rap. It was such a beautiful day, and I'm so glad that I got the chance to be involved. And one thing that I found was so dope is that there were so many hoods, sets, and gangs there, but nothing popped off. I saw people with tattoos on their eyebrows, on their necks, on their tongues. Saw red rags, blue cars, and brown rags, every color you could imagine. And everybody was respectful on that day. It was a really great moment, and it's something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. I'm going to remember that day for the rest of my life as a day when Compton came together. They came together for one cause, and that cause was Easy motherfucking E. This is something that I can go back in 20 years and visit. Say, I was a part of that. A big part of it. Behind the scenes, recording it, moving and shaking, going to Compton City Hall meetings with my boy Alonzo. And I'm so glad that it got to happen. But yes, man, some dingaling decided to snatch it up. And you know what? I get it. If I was in my 20s, when I was a big hip hop fan, 17, 18, 19, 20. If you're over 23 and you did this, you're a piece of shit. But if you're under, if you're like 17, 18, 19, 20, I get it, because I'd probably do the same thing. I did the same thing back in the day, those types of things. So I get it. But if you're older and you're jacking the Eazy-E sign, you are an idiot. And for anyone out there who's thinking about stealing it, but doesn't really want to go to jail for something like that, because they are going to catch your ass. That's city property, and they don't play about that type of stuff. But if anyone wants an authentic replica of the Easy Street sign, I could get you one personally. I personally have one myself for a small fee that is well worth it. You will have a replica of the street sign of Easy Street. So just hit me up, comment, or hit me up on Instagram and my DMs, and I will let you know how easy it is to get an Easy Street replica sign that you can hang in your studio, in your bedroom, in your baby mama's house, in your wherever you want. But what do you guys think, man? Especially the residents of Compton. I would love to hear your voice in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the Easy Street sign being stolen? Someone got it. Done and done. But it'll be back up, and then, like I said, it'll probably get stolen again. But what are you guys' thoughts? I would love to know. Comment down below. And please hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. I'm also on Instagram at DustyVisionRadio. You can follow me, DustyVisionRadio. I'm also on Facebook, DustyVisionTV. On Facebook, for my old heads out there, DustyVisionTV. What else? Rumble. Download the Rumble app onto your phone and subscribe to DustyVisionTV, all one word. It's a dope app over there, and I post different stuff that you're not going to hear on this channel. I post it over there on Rumble. So I do appreciate you guys checking me out on Rumble as well. I'll get the hell out of here, but I'll talk to you soon. Peace.